Have you heard of Tyron Woodley? Have you seen him fight in the UFC before?
No.
No. Would you favor him because he's a fighter, or you think it's Jake's time?
I would favor him because he's a fighter. I've heard the rumors that, Jake is better than Logan. Jake's got the real drive. I hear Jake's truly fascinated in boxing, been working with a lot of great fighters, getting a lot of great sparring. So we'll see, and then once you take a UFC guy and you put him in the boxing ring, you limit how they're going to attack, So it's a different sport for a reason. So I don't know that that fighter's background. What's his fight history? What's his UFC? What's his? He a kicker. He is a striker.
Yes, he's a striker. He's a striker. I don't watch MMA, man. That's not my thing. But obviously, I did a little bit of research because he's in a big fight, and they say that he's a striker, but he has lost his last 4, is what I'm told, in the UFC, and was let go by Dana White because of that. But now here he is in the biggest opportunity of his life.
There it is, man. I mean, what we know Conor McGregor made the most money of his career in the boxing ring, man. Some of these boys are getting smarter, and they're finding ways to transition. But like I said, ultimately, man, it's the entertainment industry. It's all for the entertainment. I do think it's a step up for Jake, and I hope he does good, because then he can keep talking that ish and keep shaking up the world, man. He's been them Paul boys. They've been changing up the game. Getting a lot of talk, a lot of traction, and getting some action. I don't think it's the best action, but it's some action.
So you think Tyron's going about it the right way?
It's I think he's a wrestler, so he's taking I think the chance of going there. You got to see he's not a boxer. He's a wrestler, good wrestler.
Who do you think win that one? Paul and Woodley.
It's a.
That's gonna be a real fight. That's not no exhibition. That's the real deal.
Yeah, I think it's more catered to the YouTuber.
What's your take on the whole Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley?
It's interesting, man. As much as anybody will say, it's it's an exhibition as I consider it. But I think this one, Paul got a fight on his hands, so it'll be interesting to see.
Do you think that Jake Paul is going to be able to, get the knockout, or do you think Tyron Woodley would be winning?
No matter what I say, I'll get butchered for it. So no matter who I pick, I'm going to have one side or the other. But it's an interesting fight. I mean, Paul, he has been training boxing. That's all he does is box. He don't do UFC or anything like that. Woodley, on the other hand, he got good hands for UFC, but he mixed it up a lot too. He worked on wrestling and everything else. But I think that's what makes it an interesting fight. I think anything can happen in this fight.
Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. Does Tyron Woodley have a shot?
I'm uncomfortably calm.
Tyron's got a shot for sure. One of the things I think Jake's can. Jake picked him as, like the biggest name with a rib that he thinks he can beat. So I mean that's one of those things that Tyron's not a bad striker when you have to worry about him taking you down. Right. Now when you can relax, you don't have to worry about him taking you down now. He's a wrestler with some striking.
Yeah. Do you think MMA fighters are kind of underrated with their striking skills? I mean, you guys have to train in boxing as well.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The biggest difference is boxing and MMA. There's different stance, different timing, different. There's a little bit of a different distance. Anytime when you go from boxing to kickboxing, there's a different distance and timing. When you add wrestling, there's different distance. You have to stand your stance a little different. Stop takedowns, block leg kicks. So you can't stand in a traditional boxing stance as a kickboxer. When you do that to me in the kickboxing ring, you got 1 round to knock me out. You're not going to stand on that front leg after that.
Right.
You won't block one kick.
Right.
So, that's where I think a lot of differences. There are a lot of strikers. These guys haven't challenged any strikers.
Yeah.
And that'll be the real test. But I think they're taking it slow. They're smart. They're making a lot of money. Yeah. And they're working their way up. And maybe they'll try a striker later. Maybe they'll try a striker next. We'll see.
Right.
What's your thoughts on Tyron Woodley taking on Jake Paul? A lot of people said they wanted to see Jake with a real fighter. This This guy's a real fighter.
He's definitely a real fighter. I mean, there's a lot riding on this fight, man. This is a lot of culture riding on this fight, man. So I'm excited to see it, as this Logan and Floyd stuff unfolds tomorrow night. But I got T. Woodley, man. But I'm definitely have a lot of respect for Jake and what he's been able to do and the energy he's been able to capture behind this movement. So, in order to shut these dudes up, man, someone's got to beat them. So I'm looking forward to both these fights coming up.
You think he gets the respect he deserves if he does get the win? Will people start calling him a boxer instead of a YouTuber?
I think they're going to continue to doubt him until he continues to move up. But that's what kind of culture we live in. But he continues to beat people. So until if he happens to beat T, which I don't know if that is possible, he's got to start fighting boxers. So I think that's the only way you kind of gain respect coming into another sport.
Do you think T Wood's gonna win the? I hope so. I hope so.
What do you think about Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul?
Tyron Woodley have a lot of experience. He's a real fighter. For sure he's going to step to the fight. For sure he's going to be ready, and they're going to be great fight for all the fans.
And do you think that Jake Paul isn't experienced enough for Tyron Woodley since he's had an entire career in the MMA?
I believe these brothers, they're very encouraged to step the fight for real fighters, And for sure they're going to prepare, they're very athletic, but you cannot match about the experience because, Woodley have a lot of experience, a lot of fights, but let's see, fight's a fight,
On that fight, is Jake in a real fight right now with Tyron Woodley?
Nah, I don't think so. Man. I think Jake's a good boxer, like more than what people think. I think he's a decent boxer, and I think a guy like Tyron Woodley more in the MMA and grappling and all that stuff. Like his last opponent, they said Ben Askren was gonna be a good match for him, but he's going in there and just taking care of those MMA guys. I think he should fight a real boxer.
What do you think about Woodley and Paul? Since you're a fan of the sport.
Yeah, man. I'm friends with both those guys. So it's going to be interesting. I want to see Jake fight someone that could punch, and Woodley could punch. He ain't like he ain't no walk in the park.
But I didn't realize we saw them a couple weeks ago out here in Miami. I didn't realize Jake is up. They're the same size.
Yeah,
just one white, one black. It's like
Woodley's a little bit shorter. I think Woodley's like 2-3 inches shorter than Jake.
Yeah, but I thought Woodley would be at least 10 pounds bigger than him. That was the same.
He fights at 170, man. You got to think these people. Outside of like a couple of guys in the UFC, not many people are floating around making massive weight cuts. You know what I'm saying? So Woodley maybe walks around $190, 200 on a good day, but he fights at 170. So you got to be able to have, some type of body left. So, but I think if they're fighting at 190, I'm interested to see Tyron Woodley fight. At a weight he walks around at. Should be fun.
Yeah, bro. That's exactly what I want to see too.
Yeah.
Exactly what I want to see.
Yeah, he'll be fresh, man. And that guy's a genetic freak. He's a beast.
And what do you think about Tyron's fight with Jake?
Tyron's gonna fuck him up. The first real fighter he's faced. I believe in Tyron.
You think he can make it out the first round? No. No?
Not at all.
What about it's your sister,
My
right?
sister.
What? I know you've been around Valerie. What do you think about the Mayweather fight?
I think Mayweather's gonna take his ass, and I think Tyron too.
Perfect.
I'm sure you're expecting Jake Paul to win, obviously. But how well do you think Tyron's gonna do? Like, do you think? And I'm only asking just because I know you're also, from the MMA community, and you know what it's like to be in a cage throwing punches and striking versus being in a ring and throwing punches. Like, is that going to be a difficult transition for Tyron to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Tyron's not really a strategic boxer. He's always been an MMA fighter. Now, you spar days where you have this boxing, but he doesn't have the strategic boxing IQ like a lot of fighters. I tell people this: it depends on Tyron's cardio. If his cardio's not there and he gasses out, he's going to get TKO'd early. But I have Jake winning by unanimous.
Do you have any predictions on just the fight itself in general?
The main fight?
Yeah.
Let's go with Jake, innit? It's Cleveland, yeah. I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting show. I'm looking forward to it as well.
Do you think Jake beats Woodley on Sunday? You know, it's hard to say. Woodley's been fighting his whole life. Woodley knows what it's like to be in a fight. He knows how to handle himself when he's hurt. And, you know, Woodley should come through this on Sunday. But, you know, Jake's Jake. He's been doing this every single day. A lot longer boxing-wise than Woodley. So we're just going to have to see. The main thing that we're looking for here on Sunday is to see how Jake performs when his back's against the rope, he's been hit and he's been hurt. See how he comes through that.
Do you think that might happen on Sunday?
I think there's a very good chance that happening on Sunday, yeah.
Hey Logan, what's your thoughts about the Tyron Woodley fight your brother got?
Excited, yeah. Jake continues to challenge himself, and he's moving at his own pace, which is number one, you know? I decided to skip right to the best.
Any predictions?
Yeah, knockout. Knockout for sure.
What round?
Tyron's too old. Probably take 3.
3 rounds?
Yeah.
Knockout?
Yeah, clip it.
Would you say maybe you're rooting for Jake just so that is a potential another, like you say, bank robbery in the future, possibly?
Rooting for him like what?
Versus Tyron Woodley, rather.
Give me Tyron Woodley. I'm gonna make sure I get in camp and I'm gonna train him.